Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, Bohemian Rhapsody. You already know that, you already clicked on it. And next to me is not my wife, although she is going to watch the movie with me, but she doesn't want to be on camera. You know, what?
Right now.
Right now. She's right over here. And live in front of a studio audience is Kimmel's Irish Pub. But anyway, what do you need to know about Bohemian Rhapsody besides it's the story of Freddie Mercury and Queen? IMDb 6.3. Rami Malek is the star of all of this. And you know what? I want to say that some people say that I look like Freddie Mercury. And while I know I have the voice of an angel, I don't think I look like him at all. But you be the judge. Alright, so check it out. I'll get into the movie a little bit. I can't wait to see what it's all about. And maybe my wife will join us later because she might have an opinion about it. But who knows? And that's something to look forward to. But I will tell you a little bit more about what it's about. I don't know if I can tell you anymore, but I'll tell you what I think about it. So stick around. I'll be back. Hey everybody, I want to do a quick check-in here. We're watching Bohemian Rhapsody. We're at the 50-minute, 38-second mark, and so far so good. It's interesting. They start off with him being in, I would say, in a young adult, maybe 20s, early or late teens kind of thing. He goes to a pub, but my wife made it clear to me that maybe the drinking age in the 1970s wasn't 21 in London at the time. But anyway, so that's where they start off. And how he meets the band, and then how they start moving forward and becoming what they have become. So it's very interesting in that park. I think Rami Malek is good. One piece of criticism I have so far is what they do with his overbite. We all know Freddie Mercury had a major overbite, but it's so uncomfortable for the first 15 minutes of the film. You know, I'm covering my mouth kind of thing. So that piece there. Also, they as I said, they start off a little bit later in his adulthood, I guess. So you don't see how he gained his talent. I'm interested in that. Maybe that's not necessary for everybody, but obviously the guy could sing, but he also can play the piano. How does that happen? You know, how does he come into the genius that he was? But we pick it up from there, and it's moving forward. And one thing I will say, which is, I don't know if it's true, but the way that the band thinks together, you know, they're all on the same page when they meet with record labels and stuff like that, and they talk about their vision. They're all in sync. So it's not like, you know, calling out the lead singer for, you know, he wants to be out front. He wants to call the shots. It's not like that in Queen. Anyway, at least the way it's being portrayed. And Michael Myers is the record label owner, and you know, they go to battles with him on what they think is right, but they're all aligned, and that's really cool. So far so good. A lot more of the film to come, and hopefully I'm going to be able to pull in the audience here. Maybe, you know, our favorite co-host, one of our favorite co-hosts, maybe two of our favorite co-hosts, because it's not just my wife, but it's also young Lucas is going to come in and say a couple of words, maybe. I don't know. So stay tuned. We'll come back, but I wanted to step in real quick because I know you were missing me. But I'll get back into it a little bit more and find out a little bit more about the story. There's a lot left, so stick around. I'll be back. Hey everybody, I did it. I roped her in. I got her in here. We're at the credits of Bohemian Rhapsody, and I needed a little help to help analyze this film and talk a little bit about it. I'll continue a little bit real quick before I turn it over to you. But as on the first check-in, I was saying how great the band was and how they got along and they got each other's back. Well, as soon as I unpause it, that all ends. You know, so they go through everything that every other band goes through, you know, fighting over whose song it was, what song's going to be released, what goes on the B-side, all that kind of stuff comes out in the end. But so a little bit more in the plot, and we all know what happens with Freddie Mercury, so there's no spoilers here. We can talk about anything at this point. It's just, you know, what they put up on the film and everything that they went through. So I'm going to actually put you on the spot real quick. No?
Okay. No, well,
I just want to hear your overall thoughts. So what do you think about the film?
I thought it was good. I do. I think, you know, they all did a great job. I do feel, though, that the first half, when, you know, he was younger, was a little hard for me to, like you were talking about, like with the mouth.
Yeah.
And
right.
I think he really like got into his character when he got older with the mustache. Like it was really more like Freddie Mercury to me. You know, it didn't seem. It almost kind of seemed. I don't want to say what's the word? Like very costumey. Everything was very kind of hard to even fake in the beginning. Like even the singing and the voice was very muffled, and I didn't. That was a little hard, but it was still good. He did an excellent job, and I mean, that's just my opinion. But I thought that he was excellent. Like after that check-in.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, I like the story in the beginning. I thought the beginning half of the movie was really good. And I guess it's more because it's more positive at that point. And I don't like the negative parts of the movie. Mm-hmm. Because it's all on the rise of how Queen becomes Queen, and I love it. And yes, and the downside of that part was the whole teeth thing and how they overemphasized the overbite that Freddie Mercury had. We all know that, but I think that should have been more of a background than it was the forefront.
I know that was a big that was a big issue for him from what I've read and everything, and a lot of people did tease him about that, and but it's just it was the storyline on a second part. It was definitely not uplifting in any way, but you could see traces of that in the beginning though, so you knew where his choices were going to end up.
Yes, absolutely.
But
so I mean, it's a longer movie, 2 hours and 14 minutes. I felt, and this is just me, a little too long. Mm-hmm. I think there were some parts in there that they didn't have to do. A lot of it was good, but I think they could have cut it out. What did you think about the end? So at the end, and again, not a spoiler alert, you all know that they play Live Aid, right? If you don't, well, all right, they play Live Aid at the end. Surprise! And by the way, he dies. But spoiler alert. Jinx, Joe, kill me a Coke. Anyway, they play Live Aid. What did you think about the Live Aid scene at the end?
Well, I thought it was phenomenal.
You did, okay.
But it's I don't.
So let me tell you what I think. Because I put you on the spot, you couldn't get it. So for me, all right, great. Live Aid was great. They showed 4 or 5 songs, I forget, of Rami Malek playing Freddie Mercury. I don't think that was necessary. We all know he played Live Aid, and evidently it was probably one of his best performances of all time. Fantastic. I don't need to see an actor redo that for me. I already know what's happening. 1 or 2 songs, 1.5 songs, play the hits, that's great. Get it off. You don't need to drag that on. That's me. I don't think that was necessary at the end. So I had a little bit like that. One thing I will mention, what they did do, I thought, which was fantastic, that they put all of the greatest hits, all of the songs that you love by Queen, filtered throughout the movie. It's not like they repeated songs, and they played them as they happened, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it.
Yeah, I think maybe part of the end, having that and doing this show is people could sing, like be a part of it. Like I think that might have been part of the whole experience because like they saw the build up and then they could just feel like they were there.
Right. Okay. I got you. And it was pretty awesome to see all of the people in Wembley Stadium. It was just like unbelievable. It was packed.
Nuts.
Yeah.
So. Definitely. I bet you. Like, I mean, seeing it in the theater would be even more so. Like.
Right.
I mean, that would really make you feel like you were there.
What do you mean? This is not like a theater?
Just about. Just very, very. I mean, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, we'll just move right along there. I got 2 more questions for you.
Okay.
Rami Malek has won a Golden Globe. Do you think it was worthy of it? Do you think he should win an Oscar? Hopefully, people are watching this before the Oscars. What do you think?
Well, I mean, it's kind of hard for me to say because I don't know all the other movies.
Okay, fair enough.
But I think he did a fantastic job. It's not easy to fill those shoes.
Okay.
Because, I mean, he had a larger-than-life personality. He was, there was obviously, like, different hang-ups that he had to try and navigate. I think, I do feel that he has definite potential.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Well, and I have a little bit more experience, and not even about the other films, but watching him, that actor.
Right,
before.
okay, right.
So I've seen him in Mr. Robot as an example, and it didn't feel the stretch like you would normally see. So, I don't know. Right. But, and then to your point, we don't know who else is up, who is he up against,
right.
And how well did they do. Okay. question number 2. And again, you're basing it off of nothing.
Right.
Do you think this movie is worthy of an Oscar?
No.
No. Okay.
I think it was
That's deep.
Yeah. You know, it says a lot.
Right.
I don't feel that it. I mean, it was an excellent biopic of a band, and I think they told the story, and everyone knows the general idea of Queen and Freddie Mercury and all that. And but I do feel that besides his performance, it wasn't anything that it wasn't something like revolutionary. I thought they did a great job with like this, like, you know, the way it was filmed and all that. Like, but I don't know if I would think it was Oscar worthy.
All right, there you go.
What about you?
I agree.
Yeah,
okay.
okay.
I agree. I think there were things. I mean, they have to be more revealing, I think, in the film. You know, like you said, it was all stuff we know and things like that. And I personally was more interested in his childhood. How did he become this prodigy that he end up, you know, we all love and worship now? And how did that happen?
I think that might have actually, if I'm not mistaken, that was part of the issue when initially it was supposed to be Sacha Baron Cohen. Was he knew that the direction that the band, because they collaborated with this film to write it, was that it was very much like a biopic. This is what they wanted, a very basic storyline, without delving into too much of Freddie's life, you know, because they wanted to talk about the band, not just about Freddie. So I feel like then that's where the creative differences happened when he walked away from it, and they had Rami Malek in it. They told the story that they wanted to tell. So I mean, there might be. I think that's the issue exactly that happened with the first guy that was going to be in it.
Okay, because if they were trying to tell more story about the band, I think they failed.
Yeah.
I mean, they did.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, right. Like they didn't really want to get. They didn't want to scratch the surface too much. They didn't want to tarnish Queen's image, you know. And I know that there was a lot of there was strife and stuff like that throughout, from what I've read or whatever, and. So they kept it like that. That's how they wanted it to be.
Focus on Freddie, right? I mean, because
they wanted to focus on them.
Right. Who's the lead guitarist's wife's name? Right. How many kids does he have?
Right.
We have no idea.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't even tell you his name. But they looked. One of the things that I love about true stories is how they show the comments. What happens after the movie? I'm a big fan of that, and they do that, and they show the real life pictures and everything like that, and real life performances. So that's worth it there. And you were commenting on just looking at the band and the actors that they chose and the way, that was awesome. Like they really did look like the band back then, back in the 1970s to 1984 or whatever.
Late the 90s. It was late 90s. I mean late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, late 80s. Cause
he was 89 and he died in 94.
Okay, something like that. I don't know. You watch the film. We're not going to spoil that part.
Right. You figure it out.
Right. So that's it. I mean, you got anything else for them?
No, I don't. I think it was, but it's worth a watch if you're interested in the story or want to see a good band biopic. Then
there you go. Yeah, I mean, I think it's anybody who's within our age range, which is like the early 20s for us too.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And you've heard this song on the radio, that Bohemian Rhapsody stuff. Go ahead and check it out, find out what it's all about, and you get a little bit here. Definitely worth the watch. Hopefully we didn't deter you from watching it. I think you should.
Oh no, definitely.
And what we'd really like, what I'd really like, is a lot of likes on this one, likes, because the more likes you give, the more chance I have to get her back up on stage. Because isn't she so much better when it's just on stage? This is stage. So much. Isn't the show much better when she's in it and it's not just me, right? Great. Hit the like button. Put some comments in. And don't forget, little Lucas is with us too. He's coming out too. It's a little sneak preview of Lucas. So that's it. That's all I got for you. And that's all we got for you tonight. Yeah. So hit the like button. Subscribe to our channel. Every time you subscribe to our channel, it shows the bloopers at the end. So stick around for that. All right?
Right.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. Kimmel's Irish Pub. We're not going to say goodbye.
No.
Oh.